They say the border between life and death is thinner than a breath, a mere whisper on the wind, and yet to cross it is to step into eternity. You stand at the edge of two worlds. On one side, the sun still shines warm, familiar, alive. On the other, darkness, deeper than night, stretches out like an ocean of stillness. There is a river here. No water flows, and yet it glimmers. Silver currents carry the echoes of forgotten songs, carrying souls in silent procession. A ferryman waits, not Charon of Greek fable, but a visage older than memory, a being carved of starlight and shadow. His eyes, the color of ancient papyrus, regard you without judgment. Step forth, he intones, voice like wind through reeds. You hesitate. Fear trembles at the edge of your spine, but also curiosity, the need to know what lies beyond. A single step, and the world you know dissolves. The path becomes a ribbon of light, woven between obsidian pillars that hum with unseen energy, each pillar a sentinel of the threshold. Guardians patrol the way, figures half seen, drifting between realms. Their forms shift, sometimes winged, sometimes horned, always silent, always watching. You feel the weight of your own breath, counting beats of your heart, each pulse resonating in the vast hall of eternity. Before you appears a gateway as mountains, wrought of living metal. Hieroglyphs crawl across its surface, symbols of protection, symbols of passage, symbols that whisper to the soul. Here begins the trial of entry, not of guilt or innocence, but of worthiness. To walk the Duat, one must be willing to release the world left behind, to unburden the heart, to set aside fear, and to embrace truth. A voice, distant yet intimate, speaks within. All that you carry, each regret, each hope, each desire, will be weighed. No scale yet appears, only the promise of balance. You step forward. The gate parts, sighing like the breath of a colossal beast. You cross the threshold, and the pillars glow, as if awakened by your passage. The air itself shivers. Shadows dance at the corner of your vision, whispering names you half remember, of loved ones, strangers, all who have come before. Ahead, a courtyard opens, vast and silent. Black sand beneath your feet, stars overhead. Yet these stars do not burn. They pulse, rhythmic, as if in time with the heartbeat of creation. At the courtyard center stands a monolith of stone, stele carved with the image of Ma'at, the feathered goddess of truth. Her scales hang empty, awaiting the souls that will come to be judged. And beyond, a path leads onward, branching into corridors of light and shadow. The journey has only begun. Pause, breathe, feel the weight of eternity pressing close, and know what lies ahead in the Duat will challenge your very essence. For beyond this threshold, the 42 judges await. They stand ready, keepers of cosmic order, wardens of the soul's fate, silent arbiters of truth. And you have taken the first step. The door closes behind you, and the real journey begins. They called him MEW, the one who is in the place of embalming. Yet here, in the silent halls of the Duat, he is more than a god of mummification. He is the guardian of the scales, the lord of the balance. A hush falls as you approach. No footfalls echo here, only the faint susurrus of shifting veils. Ahead, under a vaulted canopy of obsidian stone, stands Anubis, his jackal head tilted, ears erect, nostrils flaring at the scent of your soul. Before him, upon a dais of polished onyx, rests the great scale, two pans hang from chains of pure electrum gleaming, impossibly precise. In one, the heart of the departed, in the other, the feather of Ma'at. One weight bears the truth of a lifetime, the other, the essence of cosmic order. Anubis steps forward, each movement measured fluid as oil on water. He raises a slender finger, and the feather floats across the darkness, landing lightly in the pan to the right. It settles, quivering, waiting. Your heart trembles within its chamber. Memories rise like specters. Every joy, every sorrow, every transgression. Faces long buried flicker at the edges of your mind. Could a single feather bear the soul? Weight of such things? Anubis lifts your heart in his divine palm. It pulses softly, insistently, a reminder that life and death are entwined in a dance older than time. He places it beside the feather. For a moment, a breath, eternity itself, holds still. The scales dip first to the feather's side, then level. Then you feel it, the tension of judgment, not a verdict cast in stone, but a moment of profound equilibrium. He watches you. His eyes, red-rimmed, shine with compassion and stern resolve. Speak, he commands. Reveal that which you have hidden. In your mind, words form confessions unspoken in the world of the living, a litany of truths you dared not utter, yet now, laid bare before the divine balance, they find their voice. Your tongue moves, though no sound escapes. I have taken what was not mine. I have spoken falsehoods to spare another's heart. I have allowed fear to guide my hand. Each admission, each shard of honesty lifts a weight from your chest. The heart grows lighter. At last, the scales settle. They hang perfectly level, feather and heart in silent harmony. Anubis inclines his head. Ma'at stands here with you, he intones. The truth has prevailed. He gestures, and the feather drifts away, returned to the realms of cosmic order. The heart glows faintly in his palm, freed from the burden of falsehood. Proceed, he says, voice echoing like distant thunder. Your path through the Duat is open, but know this, truth is both shield and sword. With that, he vanishes, leaving behind only the echo of his presence. The scales remain silent witnesses to your passage. Beyond, a corridor of alabaster light invites you onward. Pause. In the stillness, listen for your own heartbeat. Feel the echo of Ma'at within your soul, and step forward, guided by the clarity of truth. They say no throne is given, only claimed, and in the Duat, no crown is worn, only born. In the hushed heart of the underworld stands a dais carved from emerald shadows. Upon it rests a throne etched with jackal heads and lotus blooms, its back towering like a gateway between worlds. This is the seat of Osiris, once king of the living, now sovereign of the dead. He did not ascend without sacrifice, his bones scattered by jealous hands, his blood spilled upon the desert sands, yet from that sacrifice rose the order of the Duat. You enter a throne room sealed in twilight. Columns of black granite spiral skyward, capped by lotus capitals that drip with silvery dew. Candles flicker along the walls, though no breeze stirs, their flames bending as if to whisper secrets. At the center, the throne glows with living light, soft green radiance pulsing like a heart beneath stone. And seated there, regal yet worn, is Osiris. His skin the hue of polished malachite, his eyes deep pools swirling with the currents of countless rivers. In one hand, he holds the was scepter, symbol of dominion. In the other, the flail, symbol of judgment. His crook rests against his shoulder, shepherd of souls. He regards you with a gaze that sees beyond flesh. A voice, measured and ancient, rises from the hush. "Child of the earth," he intones, "you have crossed the threshold, balanced your truth, and now you stand before the source of divine order. You kneel, though no command was given. The silence is weighty like dusk, settling over endless plains. In that silence, you feel his story, the betrayal by brother, the mourning of wife, the rituals that bound him to rebirth. He stands, gliding forward with slow grace. The throne's light dims, shifting to illuminate a mosaic floor. It depicts the resurrection myth Osiris cut and reassembled, a tapestry of bones and flesh, of death's defeat. He steps onto the mosaic and gestures. "Behold the law of renewal," he says. "The cycle of life only persists through death's embrace." Around you the walls shift, revealing scenes of judgment. Souls arriving with offerings, priests chanting spells, scribes recording confessions in ink of starlight. "Here," Osiris continues, "I received the first. Here I sealed their fate-granting passage or condemning souls to oblivion. Through my verdicts, Ma'at endures." He lifts his scepter, and the hall grows still. A single beam of light descends, striking his diadem, turning it to purest emerald flame. "This throne," he declares, "is not mine alone. It is the heart of the Duatit's pulse and compass. From here, balance radiates into worlds above and below." He turns, gesturing you to rise. With each step, you feel the ground hum as if the Duat itself breathes beneath your feet. "Remember," he says, voice echoing like temple bells, "to pass through my realm is to accept renewal. To know death is but transformation, and to honor the cycle is to preserve cosmic order." The light fades from his crown, returning to still emerald glow. He sits once more, fitting the flail and crook across his ancient lap. You bow and step back, heart humming with the echo of his power. Beyond the throne room lies a corridor veined with electric blue light, paths diverging to trials yet unseen. Pause. Let the resonance of Osiris's words settle like seeds in your soul. For the journey deeper into the Duat carries the weight of rebirth itself, and only by honoring the Lord of Renewal can you hope to emerge whole. Beyond the corridors of living light, you come upon a threshold flanked by twin obelisks, not of stone, but of liquid shadow, their surfaces rippling with silent inscriptions. Between them hangs a curtain of moonlit mist parting like a veil as you draw near. You step forward, and the veil dissolves. Before you stretches a hall vast beyond measure, its floor a black mirror reflecting a vault of starlight. Columns rise in perfect symmetry, 42 on each side, each one crowned with the visage of a different deity. Their carved features shift as you look, catching angles of your soul and returning them in silent appraisal. At the far end, a dais ascends in tiers of ivory and basalt. Upon it sit 42 judges, robed in fabrics that seem woven from dawn and dusk alike. Their faces are inscrutable, some human, some beast, some neither. Each holds an emblem, a scepter, a scale, an ankh, a spiral of starlight, tokens of cosmic office. Silence reigns, but not emptiness. It is the silence of expectation, of infinite patience. You feel the weight of countless souls gathered here, their hopes, their fears, their judgments, all converge upon this moment. A figure steps forward from the circle of judges, tall with the head of a serene ibis Thoth, scribe of the gods. In one hand he holds a stylus, in the other a scroll of living papyrus. His eyes, dark with ancient knowing, settle upon you. "Child of earth," he intones, voice rippling like wind over glass. You have come before the hall of two truth seat of the final reckoning. Here, deed confronts intention, name confronts essence, and the soul's path is drawn in the balance between. He gestures, and the judges lean forward as uneven echo of wings and breath. Rows of figures stir, attentive, ready to pass verdict. Thoth raises his stylus. Speak now your name as it lives within you, not the name given at birth, but the name you carve upon eternity. You bow your head, then speak, voice trembling like a candle in a draught. I am. The words taste strange in your mouth, yet they carry the weight of everything you have been and all you may become. As you speak, ripples of light course along the columns, each marking a judge responding, noting, weighing. Anubis's scales echo in the distance, a soft counterpoint to Thoth's pen. When your voice fades, Thoth lowers the stylus to the scroll. A hush deeper than before settles time itself, pausing in reverence. Then, one by one, names are spoken, soft intonations that dance upon the edges of perception. A panel of judges stands, each stepping forward to present their verdict on a single aspect of your journey. Truth, courage, compassion, will, memory, desire. With each verdict, a subtle sensation washes over you like stones laid gently upon your shoulders, then lifted again. Some judgments sting with the frost of past failings. Others burn with the warmth of triumphs forgotten. And all the while, the hall holds its breath. At last, Thoth lifts his gaze, the scroll complete. I pronounce your soul, he declares, voice echoing like distant thunder, bound neither to oblivion nor unchecked ascension, but tempered in balance. A soft luminescence pours from the dais, illuminating a path that spirals upward and downward on endless Mobius of possibility. The judges return to their seats, faces softened, eyes bright with quiet satisfaction. Thoth steps aside. The hall has spoken, he says. Your passage continues, but remember, every step onward is an echo of these truths laid bare today. You turn toward the glowing path, heart steady, mind clear, and with measured steps, you continue deeper into the Duat, guided always by the silent chorus of the 42. In the hush before judgment, there comes a moment of utter vulnerability, a silence pregnant with possibility, and then the voice of the soul. They call them the negative confessions, 42 declarations spoken not to affirm what one is, but to deny what one is not. Each utterance a weapon against illusion, each word a step toward Ma'at. You stand before a low altar of black alabaster, its surface etched with wavering hieroglyphs. A bowl of crystalline ink rests upon eye-tink distilled from starlight and river mud. Thoth's stylus hovers, ready to record. One by one, the names of the judges echo in your mind, each invoking an aspect of cosmic order. Am I not one who has spoken lies? No, I have not stolen the bread of the gods, nor have I harmed the cattle of the sacred herds. Pause, breath, truth laid bare. Each confession carries the weight of a lifetime. Some declarations are simple. No, I have not killed. Others cut deeper. No, I have not belittled the poor. No, I have not ushered tears to mothers' eyes. As you voice each line, your heart quickens, fear and relief intertwined. For to name these denials is to relive transgressions, yet also to renounce them. The air around you shivers with ancient energy. Each confession ripples outward, brushing the edge of eternity. Across the hall, the judges lean forward, senses attuned to every syllable, every inflection. You feel the presence of power in the act of negation, for what you refuse defines you as much as what you embrace. To say no to falsehood is to open space for truth. To deny cruelty is to affirm compassion. When the final confession falls from your lips' voice, fragile yet unwavering, the hall grows still. 42 declarations ring out like bells in the silence. The hieroglyphs upon the altar glow as if accepting an offering of pure intent. Thoth dips his stylus in the ink and traces each line upon the scroll. The words burn into the papyrus, immortalized. He looks up, eyes reflecting distant stars. "You have named your shadows," he intones, "and cast them into the abyss of forgetfulness. Now stand in the light of your own becoming." The bowl of ink shatters crystalline shards, scattering like prisms. In their place, a single feather drifts downward, landing softly at your feet. Ma'at's gift of renewal. Pause. Let the echoes of your own voice settle. Feel the space within you, newly cleared, and step forward. Your path through the Duat illuminated by the truth you have declared. Beyond the glimmering feather, the corridor widens into a circular chamber, its walls lined with alcoves that breathe faint luminescence. Each niche holds a statue, 42 in total, carved from obsidian streaked with gold. They stand silent, guardians of decree, each one waiting to impart a fragment of cosmic justice. You step into the center of the circle. A hush deeper than any forest at midnight presses close. Before you, the statue's animate eyelids of starlight unfurling, forms shifting into living presence. One by one, they emerge. 1 acre, the twin horizons. 2 lions back to back, eyes on dawn and duskkeeper of the passage through time. He opens his jaws, and the horizon of your lifespan unfolds. 2 Hu, voice of the Creator, a man crowned with the sun disk, mouth agape in eternal utterance. His words forge intention, shaping the soul's narrative. 3 Sia, embodiment of perception, a figure with an eye upon its forehead, witnessing all secrets. Through Sia, thoughts become visible. Each judge's portrait unfolds in similar reverent detail, beast and human fused, symbol and substance intertwined. You sense their domains: justice, mercy, retribution, compassion, memory, desire, silence, speech, and 100-faceted roles in between. They form a ring around you, voices overlapping, creating a chorus of determination. Asterisk Anpu presides over the weighing, guiding the heart's confession. Asterisk Amut waits hungry at the threshold of failure, reminder that imbalance brings oblivion. Asterisk Nehebkau coils beneath the dais, binding fates with threads of soul. Asterisk Kebesenuef, Duamutef, Hapi, and Imseti stand sentinel over the internal organs, guardians of purity in body and spirit. Asterisk Ma'at herself watches from above, her ostrich feather reflecting in every pair of eyes. Each judge extends an emblem toward Yuan Ankh, a scale, a scepter, a staff topped with stars. They offer not judgment in this moment, but invitation to commune with their essence, to understand the facet of your soul they oversee. You kneel at the feet of one Amut, the devourer, her form half crocodile, half lion, half hippopotamushangri, hunger made manifest. Fear coils in your chest, but you steel yourself. She offers her emblem, a scale tipped toward destruction, and in that offering, you glimpse your darkest impulses and see how balance might save you. You rise and move to the next Mescanet, the midwife of souls. She cradles an infant swaddled spirit, teaching that every soul's journey begins anew, even in passing. On you moves, from one judge to the next, each encounter a reflection in a shattered mirror, yourself splintered into divine aspects. then reassembled in the crucible of understanding. At last, the circle closes. The judges retreat into their alcoves, statues once more. Their emblems remain at the center, gifts to guide you: a feather, a scale, a spiral, a drop of celestial ink. A voice, neither male nor female, but both echoes through the chamber. All voices have spoken. All duties stand revealed. Carry these tokens with reverence, for they are the keys to your fate. Pause. Gather the emblems in your hand. Feel their weight light as breath, heavy as truth, and step through the doorway that emerges in the wall of shadows, carrying the living tribunal within your very being. They say every soul bears its own ledger, etched in moments of light and shadow, and here, within the Duat, those ledgers open. A hush falls as you enter a cavern, vast as night its walls, carved with endless rows of names. Some shimmer in gold souls, granted safe passage. Others lie dark as oil condemned to wander or to be consumed. You step forward, guided by a lantern of silver flame. Its light dances across the carvings, illuminating tales long buried. First comes the story of Neferu, the scribe's daughter. She stole a loaf of bread to feed her starving kin. Her heart weighed heavy with need, yet the scales tilted toward mercy. Thoth himself whispered an amendment: compassion is justice too. You see her name glow, then fade, replaced by the mark of pardon. Further on, the ledger of Chem, he who lifted hands against his brother, anger hot as desert noon. His confession rang hollow at first denial, his shield, but when his heart spoke true, admitting guilt without excuse, the judges granted redemption, a lesson etched in light. Truth cleanses even the darkest stains. The lantern flickers, and you glimpse Sessi's fate. She spoke ill of the pharaoh, her words twisted like serpents, poisoned tongues that sowed discord. No confession could untangle the venom she'd spread. A red glyph marks her name banished to shadow. A warning: words wield power beyond measure. At the far end, a solitary tale remains sun-marked, unfinished. Seti, the warrior, who killed in honor's name, each blade a tribute to valor. Yet every drop of blood stained his soul. His confession came late. I fought for others, not for glory. Still, the ledger holds him neither bright nor dark. A judge steps from the wall, a figure cloaked in twilight. It is Chezer, arbiter of mercy and retribution. His voice resonates like falling stones. Each transgression has its weight, yet within each soul lies potential for change. He extends a hand and the ledgers shift. Names of the forgiven drift upward, merging with stars. The condemned dissolve into mist, their echoes a lesson for all. But mercy, he continues, is earned through acknowledgement. True pardon rises from the ashes of regret. In that moment, you understand. The Duat is not merely a court, but a forge, where souls are tested, where guilt is tempered by truth, and where absolution is sculpted from the will to transform. Pause. Feel the echo of each story. Let their lessons settle within your bones, for the path onward demands both courage to confess and humility to accept mercy when granted. Beyond the ledger chamber lies a gateway carved with dancing flames, inviting you deeper into the alchemy of the soul. And with lantern raised, you step forward, bearing witness to the fragile balance of justice and grace. They say the living prepare long before death beckons, planting seeds of protection, weaving charms against the unknown, recording spells in ink that glows beneath moonlight. Before the final journey, The faithful gather at dawn's first light. In temples of sandstone and shadow, priests chant over basins of Nile water, eyes closed, voices rising in a chorus to unseen powers. They inscribe names upon papyrus scrolls, names of the departed, names of the judges, names of gods whose favor must be won. Each scroll is sealed with resin drawn from incense trees, black as night, fragrant as memory. Amulets are fashioned in workshops of hushed reverence, tiny hearts of gold to guard the soul's own heart, scarabs of green faience to ensure rebirth, miniature scales of electrum to tip the balance in one's favor. They speak the opening of the mouth in ancient rite to awaken the senses of the dead, lips brushed with kohl, ears anointed with oil, so that the soul may breathe and hear in the realm beyond. And then, the recitation of the spells, words taught by Thoth himself, formulas that guide the soul past serpents and demons, that calm the crocodile-formed guardians, that still the hounds that roam moonlit corridors. In the Book of the Dead, the spells are many. Spell 125, the negative confessions already spoken by the soul. Spell 30, be, O heart of mine. Do not stand against me as a witness, an invocation to silence the heart's accusations. Spell 17, to transform into a falcon and soar above obstacles. Spell 100, to assume the form of a lotus and blossom in rebirth. Pauses punctuate each incantation, breaths drawn deep, intent focused like a blade of light. And all around, the amulets glow tiny beacons of hope, carried at the breast in linen pouches, tucked into wrappings, laid upon the chest of the mummified form. At the threshold of the Duat, these tokens speak first, announcing identity, proclaiming devotion, declaring a pact between mortals and gods. You stand amidst this ritual, sensing the hum of power, feeling the crackle of potential in the air. A priest approaches, offering you a small scarab wings outstretched, eyes of lapis lazuli. Wear this, he intones, voice soft as dusk, that the judges may know your heart seeks only truth and renewal. You take the amulet, cold and weighty, and feel its promise, protection, guidance, the silent vigil of 42 eyes. Pause, let the rituals echo in your mind. Let the amulets rest heavy against your skin, for you carry magic now woven from names, from words, from the breath of gods. Beyond the chamber of rites lies the final corridor, lined with niches where offerings melt into ether, and with each step you move closer to the living legacy of the judges themselves. They whisper in hidden rooms, in candlelit circles, in midnight solitudes, the names of the judges of the Duat, not as distant phantoms, but as guides for the soul's work in life. New practitioners draw their sigils on parchment 42 seals etched in silver ink. Each seal corresponds to a judge's domain, Amit's symbol to confront inner voids, Sia's to sharpen perception, Nehebkau's coil to bind destructive thoughts. They create talismans, a ring bearing Osiris's crook for renewal, a pendant shaped like Anubis's scales for moral clarity, a plaque of basalt inscribed with the name of Ma'at for daily balance. Rituals evolve. Instead of mummified remains, they use figurines of clay, moving limbs to arcane motions. Instead of incense of frankincense, they burn blends infused with desert herbs. And instead of papyrus scrolls, they write intentions in journals of recycled fibers. Spells are adapted, a modern spell of passage to navigate life's transitions, a confession ritual where one writes and burns a list of faults to release their weight, a feather meditation holding a quill and silencing the mind to hear inner Truth. Workshops flourish, online courses teaching the negative confessions as tools for therapy. Group meditations invoke the judges as archetypes for shadow work, calling upon Hu to give voice to suppressed truths. Conjuring Sia to illuminate hidden motives. Invoking Chaser to balance justice with mercy in relationships. Artists paint the judges in mural splashes of gold and obsidian, bringing the Duat into the heart of the living city. Writers weave their trials into novels, casting souls before cosmic courts. Musicians compose ambient soundscapes echoing the drip of ink, the whisper of scales, the hush of judgment. And in the quiet corners of the mind, the judges speak. 40. Two voices reminding us that every thought, every choice, every confession echoes beyond the self. They teach that justice begins within, that balance in the soul ripples outward to shape our world. Pause. Feel their presence in your modern life. Hear the scales tip as you choose compassion over cruelty. See the feather of Ma'at settle when you speak your truth. For the Duat is not distant. It lives in every threshold we cross: birth, death, love, loss, change. And the 42 walk with us, guiding, judging, forgiving. Their legacy endures in the ritual of our days, in the magic we weave, in the justice we seek. Step back into the world, bearing their wisdom as both armor and mirror, and live as though each heartbeat is weighed, each breath recorded, by the silent, watchful eyes of the 42 judges of the Duat.